I'd most likely call it a Pan-African conversation, but let's focus on West Africa. So we have representatives from the major West African countries here with us. And I'll be starting with the profile of Kwame Ba. Okay. I can't see him on the call.
He should be joining us very soon. He's
all right.
He'll be joining us soon. Yeah.
All right, so I'll just move on to first of all read the profile of the people we have on the call. So we have James Akita with us. James Akita is an artist manager and he works with Dope Nation. And of course, he's a Ghanaian. So James Akita, known best as Nido, is a multifaceted talent in the music industry, serving as both the co-manager for the dynamic twin duo, Dope Nation, and content RLS manager at Dito Music Africa. With a passion for nurturing artists and amplifying their voices, James has played a pivotal role in the success of Dope Nation, guiding their career trajectory and ensuring their music reaches global audiences. As a content and RLS manager at Dito Music, he leverages his expertise to support emerging and established artists in navigating the ever-evolving landscape of digital distribution and promotion. Akita's dedication, strategic insight, and creative flair continues to shape the vibrant tapestry of the music industry. We're glad to have you here, Akita James. Please, a round of applause. As we are reeling out the profiles, you can just be clapping. You can use emojis. Thank you very much. All right, then I'll move on to, do we have North Boy on the call? I think we do. We do? Okay. Let me create a gender balance. So let me move on to the ladies before I'm being accused of a. All right, so we move on to, of course, my boss, Choma Okoro. So Choma Okoro is the founder of Cinex Entertainment, Nigeria. So Choma is a music business executive, A&R, and founder of Cinex Entertainment, a music marketing agency and talent management company. With over 5 years active working experience in the industry, she has worked with top music producers and talent, including Ozedikos, Wande Cole, Nif Keys, Kida Great, Beverly Naya, Bess, IBK Slick, Wade Mix, Fumbi, Oladapo, Dice Ales, Gospel on the Beat, Ketura King, Plain Ben, DT Kameli. Of course, this shows that she has had a rich blend of various talents or creatives that she's worked with. Her body of work spans across A&R, branding, music marketing, music distribution, creative direction, and talent management. And this has put her in contact with brands such as Sony Music, Jam Distro, Republic 54, Music Business Academy for Africa, AB Records, PG Records, to mention a few. She says, as my boss in the industry, I'll probably be asking her about some of the big names I've mentioned here after now. But please, a round of applause for Choma Okoro, aka Omar. All right, so we move to the next. We have Oyinda Olukani. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so this man is a man with he doesn't like to speak much, so his profile is very precise. So we have Oyinda Olukani, who is the co-founder, Party Monks Entertainment. Oyinda is a music marketer and catalog manager. He's also the co-founder of Party Monks Entertainment and head A&R at Sound Hala. Please, a round of applause for a very straight to the point and precise man. All right, then I'll move on to Yao Twamasi. Please, am I correct?
Chimisi.
Chimisi. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So, with over 10 years experience working in the advertising and music industry, Chumesi has served in multiple roles in business leadership and marketing roles. Currently, he's building a creative platform for African creatives called Spark, which will serve as the first barrier for creatives amplifying their work and helping them reach a global audience. Of course, this speaks to the topic or theme of the conversation for today. So we should really, really pay attention, close attention to the conversations we're going to be having. Then I move on to another very profound and prolific lady that we have in our midst, Yewande Arigbabu. Please, I hope I am correct. If I murder your name, forgive me. Thank you. So Yewande is A&R Maven Global Universal Music Group. So Yewande is a dancing A&R who builds musical talents at one of the biggest indigenous record label in Africa. She has had a unique career trajectory from interior decoration with Ifeyinwa Ighodalo to working as a senior assistant to Oluwatosin Ogbemi, and now developing musical talents at Maven Global, UMG, alongside Rima Tahini. Behind the scenes, her unique interest in the trajectory and success of talents drives her interaction with several artists, especially Crayon, as she incessantly contributes mostly to his ideation, strategic planning, and execution. Other ideation projects include facilitating the South Social Maven Events Partnership. Please, a round of applause for our dancing A&R. Thank you for receiving them so far. So I'd move on to the first person I skipped, which is Kwame Ba. I'll just read out his profile. He's going to be joining us shortly. So Kwame Ba is a Ghanaian music manager, music entrepreneur, and the founder of YVE Digital, for lack of better pronunciation, a Ghanaian music aggregation platform.
Eve Digital.
Okay, all right. In 2023, Kwame Ba founded Ghana's first artist booking platform, Get the Artist. Please, a round of applause for him. And I think, okay, yes, so we have the last but not the least, which is North Boy. North Boy is a music producer and songwriter. Ezra Onuzutwa, I hope I got that correctly again, professionally known as North Boy, is a successful music producer who is behind some of the biggest hits in Nigeria and the world at large. From Juro by Wizkid, co-producing Keys to the Kingdom by Beyonce of the Lion King album to I Spice by Black Bones, and a whole lot more. The multi-talented producer and songwriter North Boy has released 2 studio albums titled Spirit Business 1 and Spirit Business 2. Please, a round of applause for our awesome and very prolific panelists. But before we move straight to the conversations, I'd like to engage our audience a bit. Please, you could just, if you've had maybe interactions, if you have heard anything, maybe something about emojis, let's be sure that you are active. Are you active? You can just type active. If you're not, just type active. All right, thank you very much for paying rapt attention so far. So we'd like to start with just a little icebreaker. And I'd just like it to go around all around this. Just me some of course, for Oma, she has already mentioned everything, so I don't even think she needs to answer anymore. But then you could just highlight the biggest artists that you have represented and from which country they come from. So I'd like to start with the first person I'm seeing on my screen, which is Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So my name is Daniel. I'm the head of licensing for Mdundo, Ghana. Formerly head of acquisition for Boomplay Music Ghana. Currently, I also consult for a music investment company called ByTunes. I'm an acquisition consultant with that company. Artists I've represented a lot in terms of my acquisition consultation. I've done acquisition with the likes of Familia, Eno Baroni, Sarkodie, a lot more other artists, Shatawale, a lot more other artists. So those are the artists I've represented. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I said I'd like to move on to Yewande. Yewande, please, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
All right. So the question is to highlight some of the artists you've worked with and of course where they're from.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Yewande. I think it's mostly known as Tumiari. I represent every artist that goes under the name Maven. Every artist recorded to Maven. So yes, it is I don't know, let me say it's particular to Crayon, but I mean, this is a process that goes about every other artist. I work on a team. So we are the ideation process. It's something that it's a very unique structure. It's not particular to one artist, but I'll just love for everyone on the call to know that I represent every artist that is under the name Maven Global, from Rema down to Lifestyle Steady. So yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Chumasi.
Yes. Yeah, hi. Hello, guys. I hope everyone can hear me. Yeah, so
Sure.
I've also worked in different capacity, marketing for like a lot of artists in Ghana. But then, closely those that I have worked much for, try to push their career is an artist called Mr. Drew, that you guys might know. He's a singer dancer, sort of like the Asha in Ghana, really. And also in different capacities, I've also worked in acquisition as well, content acquisitions, and previously, and for big artists like Amrado, Makwabwa, and even Sarkodie, so then I have worked in different capacities too. Okay, yeah, so thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Akita James.
Hi guys, James here, Akita James here. I mean, I'm gonna mention Dope Nation, who I started working with back in the days and I still work with. Yeah, they are a twin duo, the biggest in Ghana. You might say P Square, but yeah, Dope Nation. So yeah, they are the ones I can actually mention. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Oma Okoro Choma.
Okay, so I think there are like some artists in my head, right? But just off the top of my head, because I've also worked in like different capacities with some of these artists, right? So maybe Wande Cole, this breakout artist Kid, I was a part of the conversation from the inception before Kid broke out. So the deal we did with Platoon, all those conversations, structuring, marketing, everything, blah, blah, blah. Right. I think those are the people that the names that are coming to my mind. But I mean, because I double as A&R for some people, then I also do some marketing things, then some management, then some consultation. So artists here and there, but biggest artists, they're there. But I think one day WC, maybe the producers I represent, because I work with Uzedi Cross, I work with Need Kids. Those are my own big boys, right? Yeah, I think I'm able to answer the question, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that. Mr. Oyinda.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So, those I've worked with, Timmy Dakolo, currently working with Tim Cobams, Not Boy, Ayuba, AQ, and hundreds of emerging artists. Hundreds of them like that. Just like Chioma. We did it together. All right. So,
All right, thank you.
you're
Yeah.
welcome.
All right, thank you very much for that. So from my view, I can't see any of the speakers. Please, Amanda, confirm if there are any other speakers on the call that I can't see.
I think you have everyone covered.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
No problem. So I think I'd just like to dive straight into the conversation. With
I think 1 minute. Kwame just joined, so let me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Kwame. Hello?
Yeah.
Mr. Kwame, please confirm if you can hear me. Okay, I think we'll just move on pending when he can confirm if he can. Mr. Kwame, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
I have to run and join this. Thank you for having me. My name
All
is
right,
Kwame.
all right. So very quick
Yeah.
one, because we're having a very quick round. So what I was asking was, can you just spotlight or highlight some of the artists you've worked with and of course where they're from?
Okay. I've worked with almost all of the big names. Okay, so I've worked with Oshiame, I've worked with Pamela, I've worked with she, Kim Paluta, and a couple of others. I'll talk.
Okay, I don't know if it's just me, but I was struggling a bit to hear you.
Okay. Please, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Definitely, sure.
Yes, please. So I said I've worked with Ochiame Kwame, Wendy Shea, Yao Talk, Famir, Ken Paluta, I see, and a couple of others.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so I've just been informed that we have one more panelist, which I skipped his introduction. So I'll just go ahead and introduce him. His name is E. Kelly. Well, I'm sure that for Nigerians will be mostly familiar with the name. So he's a music producer, sound engineer, songwriter, A&R, head of music, Empower. Ikeli, also known as Emmanuel Kelechi Nwosu, is a renowned Nigerian music producer, songwriter, and sound engineer, and music A&R. He began his music career in 2004 as a rapper, but switched to music production in 2009. He's also the head of music at Empower. Ikeli has worked with many Nigerian and international artists, including Wizkid, Ranking, and Tiwa Savage, thanks to his unique and versatile production style that combines different genres such as Afrobeat, R&B, hip hop, and pop. He's credited with producing numerous hit songs like Body and Soul by Joe Boy, Omo Alaji by YC, Leg Over by Mr. Easy, and Need Somebody by E. Kelly featuring Mr. Easy. As an A&R, he has been instrumental in discovering and nurturing new talents, cementing his place as one of the most sought-after producers in Nigeria's music industry. Please, a round of applause for E. Kelly. All right, thank you very much. So I'll dive straight into the conversations. So the first time of the conversation we have, of course, the topic of today's conversation is centered around the collaboration of DJs, producers, and music creators in the music industry. And for those of us joining us, you'd believe that this is actually a very pivotal and important conversation, because I think we are in an era where a lot of people feel that, oh, it's an industry where I can just survive on myself. But I mean, we need these collaborations to actually thrive, especially when you want to play in the international league, right? So the first question I have, I'll just read out the question, then I will direct it to one of our panelists to respond. So the first question is, how important is collaboration in the music industry today, especially between DJs, artists, producers, and music creators? Share examples of successful collaborations that have significantly impacted the music industry. So I think I'd love to hear the perspective of course, we have two countries here represented. So I think I'd love to share the perspectives from both ends. But I'd like to first of all hear this from Yewande. Yewande, what do you think about collaboration in the music industry, especially between DJs, artists, producers and music creators? And can you share some successful collaborations that have significantly impacted the music industry?
Okay. Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. First, permit me to do this. Because for some reason, I do not like when something is just too tense. I think everybody should smile. Yep, I've been going about the pictures. Yeah, I think we should smile more. So, collaboration. Collaboration is, so when I think collaboration, what I think about is effective team. In terms of artists, producers, DJs, and this collective of creatives, first off, I think people should now know that, there's a shift. People should be aware that these people are no longer referred to as their individual talent, like producer, DJ. So if you are aware, or if you like to know, DJs are now called talents. Sometimes they call them artists. So you can, if you check a lot of these lineups, when you Google these shows or these events happening around the world, when you check the section of DJs, you see they refer to them as artists as well. My point is, I think the world has gone from limiting these people as producers, DJs, and all of that to understanding that they are all artists. We call them talents in Maven, they are all talents. And that's because, lately, these people, they have more to give than just being a producer. DJs have more to give you. I'm sure a lot of creatives here would have run into people that'll tell you, I'm a DJ and I'm a producer. We have the likes of D James, is both. You hear people tell you Louder as well. I think now he's starting to DJ at the same time as a producer. If you're familiar with Louder, he produces a lot of A&Rs songs. My point is that a lot of these guys, they now do more than what they represent, which is what will foster a lot of collaborations. So the fact that they do more than what they represent, it also gives the knowledge that these people, they have their own audiences, they have their own community individually. They represent more than what they represent. And when you as an artist want to collaborate with these people, so you're approaching a producer, but you know that this producer also has an audience. He has a community. He is more than a producer. It gives you this very amazing idea that you can do a lot more with that producer beyond just you talking to a producer or working with a producer. It goes beyond just going into the studio, recording your vocals, doing all of that and going out. It goes beyond that. Thanks to DSPs, it has gone. When these people drop the songs, I am very sure the producer has a lot to do. They have their own part. They have like their contribution to it. It goes a long way for the artist as well. Same as DJs, their contribution to that record, it goes a long way for the artist. Everybody, just everybody basically. So collaboration is very important right now. It is, if you ask me, I'll say collaboration is what keeps you afloat as an artist right now in Afrobeat. I'll say generally, but let's just keep it to Afrobeat so that I can get everybody's understanding in one place. So the bar in Afrobeat has been raised way too high. The expectations are equally high, and that is also on the international scale. The perception of Afrobeat it's a lot. The expectations are a lot. And if you look at a lot of these standards, I feel like one of the fastest ways to get what you want is collaboration. So if you ask me again, how important is collaboration? It is super important. Is it possible for a lot of these artists, based off experience, to be receptive? Yes, very possible. But to be honest, with the way things are going, with the evolving of music, Afrobeat especially, if you want to get what you want to get right now, collaboration is literally the fastest way to get it. And like I said earlier on, and as the topic covers, it's not just collaboration with your producer, it's collaboration with DJs, it's collaboration with all of the creatives involved. You have the writers part, you have everybody's contributing one way or the other. So other artists that I have worked with this kind of, a lot, there's so many examples. Recently, we know of London. London is a very popular producer. Yes, it produces a lot of A&Rs songs and Rema songs. London is also a producer, then a DJ. And we know of some, it just dropped a song recently with A&Rs Black. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yes, Pina Colada. So and that's just one out of many. Like I could go on and on. Point is that right now as an artist and for everybody on this call, honestly, the earlier you tap into the idea and the benefits of collaboration right now, the better for you. Because right now it's more than you. The stakes have been raised, the bars have been raised, the expectations are high. And if you want to get what you want to get as quick as you intend to get it, collaboration is just there. And like I said, collaboration to me sounds like effective teamwork. So good luck to everyone out there. But collaboration really is very important. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Yao, of course, I'd love to hear your perspective on that as someone who is building a platform that is meant to help amplify the work being done in the music industry. So I'd love you to weigh in on that conversation as well.
Yes, thanks for this question. So I think, whenever you mention collaboration, the key word that comes to mind is shared responsibility. And I think that's important because if you're able to, share like responsibility of a project or like a work with other people, everybody brings in their 100%, and that helps to push it. And I also think one thing about some industries that have grown universally are that they have been able to crack the idea of collaboration. So you look at the tech, industry like this, you have like a platform and you have a number of developers from like different countries being able to work on it. So then collaboration makes the work easier, and it also moves it. And I think in the music industry, we need to, producers and DJs and musicians need to have in mind that, collaboration is how, and we can all grow beyond our borders. So I can give you an example of a problem we have in Ghana. Currently in Ghana, we realize that a lot of the sort of like B-list artists and the C-list artists struggle to collaborate, with other people. And the thing that we see is that it's because they don't have the expertise to be able to do it, so they are not able to collaborate. But then, of course, from not being able to collaborate, we also see that they are all like B-list and C-list, and they are not being able to crack to like being a major artist or being a global artist. And for me, the problem is that they are not able to collaborate. And so that brings to mind, the kind of like struggle that you face if you're not able to collaborate. And to give you an example of a collaboration that I have loved recently, Nido is on the line with Dope Nation. But this Dope Nation has done an amazing job with their music. So they did something this year where there was a TikToker who had a trend that was like buzzing. And then the artists, they approached this TikToker and then they made the song with a guy. But then beyond that, they also made the guy the main character in the song. So there was a line that the guy said on TikTok and it went viral. And they made that, and they made a song about that line. And also use him as a character in the music videos. And also use him for the campaigning of the song. And then it ended up becoming, it became a big song because I think, everyone who listened to the song already knew about the trend on TikTok. So then it gave it more mileage. So that's an example of a collaboration that I have loved recently, where you see artists changing the structure of release, of production to release. So instead of making a song in a studio and now trying to sell it to fans, you pick something that is in the fan zone already, make it a song, and now you promote it. So I think also collaboration also brings to mind restructuring the process as we know it. Because you've been working on your own for a while, there's a certain structure and format you work with. But then if you have to collaborate with someone, you also have to keep in mind that you also have to change the process and the structure that you would have worked at, and that you would have worked with it. And so that's what I have to say about this. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for the answer. So if there's one thing I picked from what you said about the collaboration between the artist and of course the TikToker is the fact that you should be flexible, right? So you already used him, he said a particular line, which was something they now picked on, capitalized on and made a song out of it. So in order to collaborate, you have to be very flexible or as much as possible. Thank you very much for that. So this next question, somebody already comes to mind, which is Omar. So the second question is, can you share a collaboration experience? Okay, all right. So just to inform our audience, please, all your questions are going to be addressed during a particular time, of course, which I'm going to mention. So in order not to get your questions lost in the comments box, you can just hold on with it. Once it's time for questions, I'd let you know so that you type it out. And then we have E. Kelly in the building. Welcome, sir. We introduced you earlier, but you weren't around. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to have you guys. Nice to be here.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So this question will go to Omar, and that is, can you share a collaboration experience that involved working with artists or producers from different territories, and what were the unique challenges or benefits?
Okay. So just to add to, before I'm going to answer this question, right? Just to add to everything you and Thomas said, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Pardon me if I didn't. I think creatives need to look at collaboration as a business development scheme. So if you look at it from the angle of what do I stand to gain from this on the long run, because collaboration will breed longevity for your brand, right? And then you can just, you have a good idea as to why you need to be collaborating. Then the question that you're asking, William, it's peculiar. I think there are upsides to it and then there are downsides to it. So there are downsides to it in the sense that I represent producers right now, right? And I've had conversations where, okay, perfect. So there was a camp in Ghana in January that Sony Music Publishing, they did the camp, right? Then there was one big artist. I represent a big producer, Zedikos, right? So there was another big artist that in the past they had a scuffle. And what that artist did to Zedikos, and I'm there, I'm like, that's not cool. That's disrespectful, right? I think because I won't share everything that happened, right? But like, I'm just citing this example because it's a downside. It's just ego. A lot of the time, it's just ego that comes into play. It's just ego because you're feeling like, oh, in the past, I had a conversation with you or you charged me for something. And then there's also something about people not wanting to pay producers. Oh, I have a relationship with him, but you don't want to pay him for the service. You want to put out the music, you want the music to blow, you want to make a lot of money from the music because you are going to make a lot of money from the music, but you don't want to pay for the service. I even currently had a song I've been trying to clear for almost 4 weeks. I don't know why I'm trying to clear a song for almost 4 weeks, right? And the person negotiating with me now used the angle of, I will call it emotional blackmail, because we're having a conversation and we're like, okay, these are the terms of my guy, right? My guy has a relationship with your guy, but your guy has done something that has made my guy angry. So he's saying you have to pay for the service. So pay for the service. And we've gone round and round and round and round. We now get to the part of the conversation. Then they now turn it around and they're saying, also, because of this amount of money, it means we're not going to put out this music. And I'm like, I don't understand. What does that mean? Right. So now in that kind of situation, because I always like to look at it like it's still business. I'm not going to ruin my relationship with an exec because of a client. It doesn't make sense. Ethically, I don't know. I think different people have different ways that they will handle their businesses, right? But for me, it doesn't make, if you have beef with my client, if your client has beef with my clients, that's their drama. That's not ours. Mine is, how do we find the solution, right? And we go round and round in that conversation. And I already understand that, okay, they're trying to be difficult. That's it. Because if the song comes out, it's perfect. Because what they're selling to me is, oh, we have a lot of money to market. We have some strategies to do everything that we want to do. Now, at the end of the story, it positions my producer in a good light because it could seem like, yes, this is a good breakout song, or this could be very good for their career. But the only thing here is you need to pay for the service. right? So we do back and forth on that conversation. We're still trying to clear. But I think the downside to collaboration, like from what me I have seen, is usually just it's either an ego upper power who doesn't have an upper power. In the long run and long scheme of things, it's not relevant. It's not relevant, but I think humans will just be humans, people, right? So I don't know from other people's experiences, and I'm really open to hearing other people's experiences, right? So I can also maybe learn and see how you handle those kind of conversations. Am I answering the question correctly, William? Am I on track? Because I feel like
Definitely. So
yeah.
well, yes, you have. Although you didn't mention, I mean, I can understand the reason for not mentioning specific names, but yes, I think that's it. All right, I can see Oyinda's hands up. I don't know. Do you want to address the question, sir?
Yes. Before that, even the previous ones, what I want to say is for collaboration, I think is the biggest thing that can ever happen in this music industry. It is needed. If you've seen the biggest streams in this industry, it has been collaborations. If you look at Rema and Selena Gomez, it's collaboration. If you look at Wizkid and Drake, is collaboration. Even Wizkid and Thames is collaboration. Do you understand? So, in as much as I know that there's a power ego, there's power play, there's ego, there is a few other factors that might want to. There are so. I mean, I represent Notable. I understand the number of songs that can't go out because of issues. I represent other artists. I represent Timi Dakolo. I even know he's not a producer, but he has songs that can't even go out because of, you know, some power play back and forth and that. But it would really help our creatives to know that collaboration in this industry is what you need to even survive. I mean, yeah, you can do it on your own, but still, I'm looking forward to a day where this Nigeria, maybe one of my best artists yet, would go and feature someone in South Korea, those boy bands. I'm looking for that. Nobody's trying to do that. I hope Maven is trying to do that. You and you can just give us this thing. I'm looking forward to that. I just want that to happen because you can't, the numbers that's coming out from South Korea is crazy. And I don't know why Nigerians or Ghanaians can't just go there and just tap into something. Do you understand? So collaboration is very key for this industry. That's what I want to say for now.
All right. So I just love Mr. James to weigh in on the conversation, particularly as regards the aspect of music creators. Because I remember Mr. Yao mentioned something about Dope Nation working with a TikToker and all. So I think I'd love you to weigh in on that conversation as well.
Thank you very much. I would say I'll just take it from the ground up, right? I'm James. We have Yoande. We have Omar here. We're all from different families, isn't it? So I have a family of 5. Omar has a family of 5 or whatever. If I have a product, I collaborate with Omar. Omar will share with the family. That means the product is going far, right? So, I mean, collaboration is very significant for me. Whether it's a DJ, producer, TikToker, content creator, whatever it is. The terms just need to be spelled out, and then both parties need to work on what they have to work on. But then for me, I have a downside. The little downside is, I mean, it's good for me. Both artists I work with, they are twins. So both of them are producers, they are artists. Way before they became big artists, they produced for Shatta, all the big artists in Ghana. So they produce their stuff. I mean, everything on their catalog is produced by them, almost 90%. When they put out stuff and then they try to collaborate with other artists, I mean, you get it, they work with them, but then the clearance doesn't come, and that's a bad side for me. The bad side is they are producers, right? The moment the clearance doesn't come, they push it out. They don't wait for anybody. So if you look at their catalog, it's mostly collaborations with content creators, not artists, right? Thing is, there are verses from those artists, but then because clearance does not come, we put it out. And that's the only downside for me. But then, I mean, regardless of it being an artist, DJ, producer, content creator, I mean, it's very significant for us, and we always are ready and open to collaborate. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that. So this next question, I think I'd love to hear the perspective of, we have a producer on the call, so I think I'd love to hear Kelly's perspective on this. So the question is, what trends do you see shaping the future of collaboration in the music industry?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. So the trends, I would not say I have a clear answers to like the trends that are shaping the industry, but like still in the line of collaborations, I really love what I'm hearing from our Ghanaian counterparts about the collaborations between influencers and also artists. That's kind of very brilliant and it's a no-brainer because thinking about it, you're literally just picking up something that is already has traction and you just build on it. So you can either build on it or you can destroy the trend depending on how the record goes. So in my little way, I'll literally want to just talk about the basic collaborative elements we have. Like when you're making a song, you have producers, you have writers, you have contributors, you also have the artists. And from my little experience, I see that we have different kinds. Artists work different ways. There's some artists who are open to collaboration. There's some artists who just don't want any other creative input in their music, and there's some artists who are very who are free. They want the best of the records. And what I see in the international scene is that you're seeing an artist writing a song with 10, 20 people, and you're asking yourself, like, what's the need for all that? And you realize that there's somebody who just makes a line sound better. Another person brings in a better melody, makes the pre-hook sound better. Yeah, maybe like a producer has produced. There's some people that, like, I think I'm in a phase of my production where what I do most is when the producer is done with a record, I listen to it and I look at the weak spots. I look at what they've done too much of, and I kind of like edit and say, okay, you've done too much of this. We don't need this in the song. We don't need this in the song. Or let's maintain the simplicity. So these are the kind of collaborations that we're talking about that bring out the best in music. And then we're talking about like things like label support. For example, like going out to a different label, or let's say speaking about like what Omar spoke about, like when you speak about egos in sessions and all that, it's very important that when you're having camps, it's very important to have like-minded people, people who can achieve the same goal. I personally would advise, I will not advise any creative to go into a room where you'd actually be disrespected or where you feel your value is not needed. There are some recording camps I've gone to that the artists genuinely wanted me to be there. But when I stepped into that space, I knew that that space I can't create based on how I create. And it's not a thing of pride, it's just a thing of like, okay, this is how I want to create. So, of course, it's good to speak with the artist and ask if you can either create differently or work in a different atmosphere. But for me, the future of collaboration is to keep trying to build like a wider nucleus of creatives that you can work with. Because the more people a creative can work with, you have more options of making better music, making stuff that are more globally acceptable. And then I also want to see that whenever you have international opportunities, don't limit it to what you can control. If you find yourself with an Indian artist that reaches out to you, please feel free, make an attempt. You'll be surprised that that could be the break you need. There are so many industries. We have the Latin industry, we have the Portuguese. There are so many industries. So don't limit yourself. For me, I already realized that my strength in production, my production will work better in the French industry. So why have I stayed so long in the Afrobeat industry? That's the question I have to answer for myself. So collaboration to me is like you have to take that what you have and find out who can make it better and keep expanding and just keep being open. You understand, to having more
All right.
options on how to make your songs better.
Okay. So my take home from there is take what you have and then find who can make it better. So of course, if
Yeah.
you can partner with someone who can make that better, of course, that's a go for a collaboration. All right, I
Yes.
see your hands up.
Yeah, so I think I want to ask a question and then maybe also respond to the question that has been asked. But I want to ask Kelly, right? So something that is a trend with collaborations nowadays is sampling. So would that also that is collaboration, right? Because it means that okay, so Burna Boys go back for the result too, right?
The world.
So it means they must have reached out to the producer, collected stems or done one or two things, gotten out what they wanted, then edited as they liked. So that would serve as a collaboration, right?
I'll still take it as collaboration because you need clearance from the original creator. So it's just time bound. If you look at in the 80s, it was the early 90s, the early 90s hip hop and R&B era in the US, you would notice that literally 80% of the music out there, they were sampling songs from the 70s. And it was a win-win situation because it was literally bringing the generation that loved that music into what you're doing now. I heard the collaboration between Lagbaja and Fireboy, and I was like, this is absolutely brilliant. It was a knockoff from what maybe he did and Never Far Away, and they brought it into today. You understand? So, but think about it that he stuck himself up saying that I'm just looking for just collaborators within this people who give me the freshest sound. But he has brought something that is going to be like a legacy. That's going to be like a legacy music if it's well promoted. And definitely you need that consent from the generation too. And one thing I also don't like that is happening in our industry is where a young artist just samples something from maybe a Pasuma and then they will just go and greet him and say, oh, Baba, well done. Oh, hear this song, you understand that we did. And then you're not trying to do like the proper paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Is disrespectful. Even if they don't have paperwork, help them document their process. For example,